Good Wednesday morning. It is Live with the Pack, Philippine American couple, the adventures of That Is Us. This is our Wednesday morning live stream. Play some music. Let's see, today is Wednesday, August the 30th in the year 2023. It is 8 a.m., as I just stated, hopefully, I think. And it looks like my clock is off. It is currently 65 degrees where we are here in the United States. So it's not time for fall yet, but yet it is 65 degrees. Oh my goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. And in 1 or 2 weeks, it will probably be 100, 105 degrees again, because traditionally we have what my grandparents used to call Indian summers in late September, mid-September, where it gets really hot again. So we here in the United States are definitely going to take advantage of this nice, cool weather while we can. So, how is everybody doing out there today? I want to try to cover some topics. You guys are welcome to come up in the live stream. I've dropped the link. If you're been made a moderator, you're welcome to drop your link there for that. Promote any videos you guys have coming up, which would be great. And if not, I will try to help you with that in my dealings. Big news, big news around the world today is we have a hurricane that hit Florida. I've been watching that a little bit. It does look like that storm surge is the main issue, and it does look like it is not. Not to say it's not a big deal, but it definitely could have been a bigger deal than it is. And it's made its way up through Georgia, and it looks like things are settling down over the next few hours. They originally thought it was going to be going through the armpit of Florida, Otter Creek, where the what the hells live and all their drama, or coming kind of through that armpit of Florida as a hurricane, staying one, going all the way through to Georgia to the East Coast. But now it looks like will not maintain hurricane status. It doesn't definitely looks like it's kind of hit the armpit and kind of curved up like this a little bit and started to dissipate in Georgia, which is a good thing. Good thing. They were originally thinking that the Carolinas was going to get hit really bad, but it looks like that's all going to be not so bad. Big news there. What's going on in the weather? Rest of the country, if you guys have been watching anything about the Maui fires, the wildfires that happened out in Hawaii, man, that's a trip. I know there's a lot of conspiracies out there about whether it was lasers from space that caused it, because the blue color didn't seem to burn. Blue fabric on some Tommy Bahama's umbrellas didn't seem to burn. Maybe they were flame retardant. I don't know. I don't know. But there's a lot going on with the aftermath of the wildfires in Hawaii. I know our wonderful president made a fool of himself out there while he was there, which is normal. But that's okay. That's what politicians do. They, when you have 150 people, die and lose everything they own, to go out there and tell a story about how you can relate because your house once got hit by lightning. Not so much. So, but it is a great day. It is Wednesday, and we got some exciting things that's been happening in the last couple of weeks. And we want to hear from you guys what's going on in y'all's world. Anything new out there? Anything that we should be watching for? Anything we should know about? What's going on out in the Philippines? Does anybody know what's going on out there? Oh my goodness, I just noticed. Look at this. This is what we call a mother-in-law's tongue plant in the United States. It's called, they were calling it a snake plant out in the Philippines. But look at this one leaf. Man, that has to be 1, 2, 3, 3.5 feet tall because it's sitting on a riser. Look how this just one went bonkers. Kind of crazy, right? So let me see what else is going on in the world today. There's always stuff going on. We are, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I got confused. Let me tell you what we've been doing. Hang on, guys. I totally lost my train of thought. I forgot everything I was going to say. Oh my God. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, if you haven't seen, we have over like 500 videos and live streams covering topics, everything from traveling, in the Philippines to cruise ships to other trips we've taken. We discuss immigration issues, how to get a K-1 visa, how to do the dual citizenship if you're here for wanting to do that. So we have a lot of immigration videos, food videos, fun videos out there for you guys to watch. A lot of past live streams and a lot of great guests who came prepared with a lot of really good information. Because we love to disseminate information on this channel. So if we're blessed enough to have you go back and watch any of our stuff, if you guys would like, subscribe, and share, and hit that alert bell, all of that good stuff, we would appreciate it. You guys, let me show you. If you don't know, hold on, I'm going to show you something. So here's our radar. Here's the active radar for the hurricane that landed. You can see they originally thought it was going to kind of come up here through that armpit and come around like this and stay a hurricane. But you can tell that it's made landfall. There is this big storm surge, but it's getting up here into Georgia and it won't be able to maintain hurricane status once it gets over land for too long. It just won't. It will fall apart here. So that's really good news for everybody dealing with the hurricane. And of course, if any of you guys ever had to deal with the hurricanes, I mean, we had to deal with the typhoon, the super typhoon in the Philippines, which was no joy of itself. Yep. Get rid of that. Okay. All right, now we're back to just me. Let's see, what else is in the news lately? Here's an interesting article. Let's see what this is. A man is arrested months after finding a bag full of cash in a parking lot. It says here, a Connecticut man says he didn't steal that $5,000 in cash he found in a bag lying in a parking lot in May. Well, but you probably kind of knew it wasn't your money, right? 3 months later, he's been charged with larceny. It turns out the bag, which Tumble police said was clearly marked with a bank's insignia. See, there you go. You know it wasn't yours. It had the name of the bank on it. And found outside the same bank, there you go, little common sense here, contained cash from the town's tax department. See, now that's probably the difference. If the money was from a civilian, they probably wouldn't really care. But since it's their own town's money, well, they really care. You know, the government protecting the government. There were also numerous documents inside the bag identifying the rightful owner of the cash, as the town of Tumble police say. The man, a Robert Withington, 56, of Trumbull, contends he did not steal the money and did not notice anything inside the bag, indicating who the owners was. It's not like this was planned out, Wilmington told the Hearst, Connecticut media. Everything was in the moment, and it was like, I hit the lottery. It was. Well, you may have hit the lottery for, a month or two, but you're also brain dead. The Associated Press on Tuesday left a message seeking comment, but nothing returned. The money went missing on May the 30th. Police said an employee at the Turnbull tax collector's office couldn't find the bag after arriving at the bank to make a deposit during regular business hours. According to the police news, over the next several months, detectives obtained search warrants, reviewed the surveillance cameras that's always around a bank. All right, come on. And from businesses, and conducted numerous interviews, learning the bag had been inadvertently dropped on the ground. Oh my goodness. The gentleman says, I walked out onto the parking lot, saw something on the ground. No one was around, so I picked it up. Worthing told her, it's not like I stole it. Yes, you did, my friend. If I knew I was wrong in the first place, I would have given it right back. I didn't think I was doing anything wrong, he had. All right, now that's the scary part. This guy is 56 years old, and he doesn't think he did anything wrong. That's scary. You find a bag in a parking lot. And I used to, when I managed truck stops back when I was a kid, we used to make deposits. And so it is clearly marked in the bag who the money goes to. I mean, you know how it is. You got a deposit slip, you got the bank's name on it. So I'm telling you, my friend, at the age of 56 years old, picked the bag up and wasn't smart enough to go, well, this doesn't belong to me, so it must belong to somebody. And then you took it home and it opened up and went, oh, wait. If you didn't know, you do know now. And my friend, you probably won't go to jail for it because it's only $5,000 and they probably going to make you pay the money back. But you'll definitely be paying restitution and having to deal with a probation officer to help you learn common sense. But then again, welcome to America. More hot tea, everybody. All right. What would you do? What would you do if you found a bank bag in the parking lot? Would you keep it? Would you return it? What would you do? Bank bag in the parking lot of a bank. What do you guys think? I would return it because I wouldn't want to go to jail. The concept of going to jail for most people is a great deterrent and doing stupid things. Let's see what else is going on in the news today. Looks like the Pope is going to go to Mongolia. We don't really care about that. Lawmakers arrested on voter fraud. I wonder if they mean the president or somebody else. Let's see here. This is out of Huntsville, Alabama. Republican Rep. David Cole of Huntsville, Alabama, was arrested on charges of voting in an unauthorized location, according to Madison County jail records. The detail of the charges were not immediately available in the court records, but the arrest comes after accusations that Cole did not live in the district which he was elected. Oh my God. What are we getting to? That makes the news when we have all this bullshit and drama with the other election, irregularities all over Georgia and elsewhere. But they do arrest one man who voted in the wrong place. All right. I wanted to look here. Ooh, here's an interesting one, guys. 11 people taken to the hospital as a Delta jetliner hits turbulence near the Atlanta airport. Ooh. 11 people aboard a Delta airline flight have been taken to the hospital after the plane hits turbulence while heading to Atlanta. See, you should never go to Atlanta. Turbulence. Flight 175 had left Milan, Italy. It was about 40 miles or 64 kilometers northeast of Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. I don't have an Italian accent, so I can't really pull one of those off. When the crew reported severe turbulence, according to the Federal Aviation Administration, which said it will investigate. Of course you do. That's how you justify everything you do. You got to investigate. The Airbus A350 landed safely at the airport before 7 p.m. 11 passengers and crew members were taken to the hospital, Delta said. It did not provide details on their injuries or conditions. The plane was carrying 151 passengers, 10 flight. Wow, it's a big plane. That's a lot of flight attendants for only 151 passengers. 10 of them? And we're on planes where we're lucky to get one flight attendant for 300 people. At least that's the way it seems. Delta care team members are mobilizing to connect with customers. Oh my goodness, Delta will take care of you. Delta said in a statement, our priority is to take care of our customer and crew who sustain injuries. We will be giving them a $1 voucher to fly again with Delta. No, I made that part up. The airline did say Delta agents providing food, lodging, and rebooking for the uninjured customers. So if you were injured, you get nothing. But if you were uninjured, guess what? They're going to feed you and take care of you. Airlines are like one of the worst, not worst, one of the world's necessary evils. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. They seem to be a necessary evil. We need them because we need to travel. We pay them really, really, really good money, but they seem to treat us like shit when we do fly with them. They don't take good care of us. Our rights as citizens are ignored. There's supposed to be a passenger bill of rights that helps to protect us, but at any moment they can, no matter whether you paid or not, you can be kicked off of a flight, you can be delayed, transferred, moved around, and maybe you will be reimbursed and or given a travel voucher. But yet we need them to travel with. We travel and fly quite a bit. We just booked an airline ticket last night for somebody, and it wasn't quite the easiest thing in the world to do. but we got it. But they're a necessary evil. We have to do them. But yet they control us. It's just really weird to me, the concept that we are paying these people really, really good money, right? But it's okay for because you can't disagree with an airline. So if you're at the airport and you need to fly, you can't argue with them, you can't disagree with them, you can't tell them that they're wrong, or they'll just not fly you. They'll deem you unflyable. So they just, no, he argued with me. I don't want him to fly on my plane. And they have the right to do it. And then they have a right not to give you back your money. It's just the kookiest system that we have here in the United States, or maybe the world. I don't know, but it's very, very kooky. We have to spend so much money and time and effort to get on a plane. And if you do any little thing wrong to upset the airline or to call them out about anything, then you can be barred, banned, kicked off, and made to go find somebody else and pay more money. It is just the most, I don't know, asinine system that we have in place, I think, for transposition here. I don't know. What do you guys think? Somebody leave a comment about that. Because me, I don't know. It's for somebody like me who likes to rock the boat a little bit, you know, it's really hard to toe the line and to be a good little boy when I fly. But you have to shut your mouth and behave and not make a scene or not cause a disturbance or draw attention to yourself in any way, shape, or form so that you can get through the airport, get on the plane, and get where you want to be. It's just the most bonkerous thing that we have to do to put up with making our trips easier. So I don't know. Yeah, we booked a ticket last night for somebody. All right, what else is going on? Ooh. I see something here. Let's look at this, guys. Oh, this is interesting. This is something that's going on here in the United States that I think is quite interesting. And this is out in Nixa, Nevada. This is all over the internet the other day when a tribal ranger drove his truck through a barricade set up by environmental activists. And once he obliterated their barricade, he spun back around and pulled out his gun and he demanded everybody get on the ground. Now, I saw the video and look, I'm a big fan and supporter of the environment and conservation and everything. But I also don't think you ought to disrupt natural process of things to get your point across. I think you don't have to block a tribal road. Now, keep in mind, there's a big difference, and I'm not a legal expert on this, but it's a whole big deal difference between a tribal, which is a reservation, and a city or town. They make their own rules and laws because they are a sovereign country or government within the United States. So they don't have the, reservations don't have the answer to the United States government. That's not how that works. So they can do whatever they want. They can make up their own rules. But now, supposedly, a tribal ranger conduct is under review after he pointed a weapon Sunday at the environmental activists and plowing his patrol vehicle through their blockade. They were on tribal land. Keep that in mind. And the road leading to the annual Burning Man Counterculture Festival in Nevada Desert. So they are also blocking commerce. So this gentleman, tribal officer, took it upon himself to make sure the road was clear. The incident unfolded on a rural stretch of highway on Pyramid Lake at the Paiute Tribe Reservation. See, the key words, on the Pyramid Lake Paiute Tribe Reservation in northwest Nevada. The protests calling attention to climate change to stop traffic as attendees were heading to the Black Rock Desert north of the reservation for opening day of Burning Man. Well, I wonder how they got there. Did the protesters walk, or did they bicycle, or what did they do? I don't know. So videos are all over social media, however, show the ranger had slammed his vehicle into the blockade. Yes, he did. A metal travel trailer that was blocking the road. He rammed it and pushed it out of the way. Some of the protesters were stupid enough to chain themselves to it, then drove back towards the activists while announcing on a bullhorn, "I'm going to take y'all out." Phoenix declined to answer questions on Tuesday from the Associated Press, including the agency conducting the review of the ranger conduct. Now, you got to remember, if he's on tribal land and he's a tribal member, there's not going to be a whole lot left what they can do about it. Somebody, let's see, Phoenix. Who is Phoenix? I must have missed something. A news release from the tribal chairman, James J. Phoenix. Okay, so Phoenix is the tribal chairman. Well, yeah, he's on it, just like when American police officers investigate their own, the tribal officer is going to invest his officer. So, yeah. Plus, like I said, tribal lands, there are, get off their land. The name of the ranger has not been released. He exited the vehicle, drew his weapon, and yelled for the protesters to get down on the ground, according to videos. And he did. I saw them. The protesters, "We have no weapons," yells Emily Collins, one of the activists who chained herself to the blockade. Oh, protesters. You got to be smart about this. I mean, it's great to be a protester, but, it's kind of like the other video that's online, if you guys haven't seen it. And I think this is actually in England, over in Europe somewhere, where you got a bunch of people protesting agriculture because of the carbon emissions or the methane gas from the cows. And well, hello, how are you? So you got this group of protesters, right? And they're setting up tents in this field, and this farmer's had enough of it. So he goes and hooks up to his manure spreader to his tractor and just starts circling them, spreading horse manure all over them, which is in his right. He needs to fertilize his field. So he doesn't have to stop the protesters or in his field, so he gets to spray them with horse manure. So I think that's funny. We are doing good, my friend. We are doing very good. We're just talking about relative news and funny things today. We talked a little bit about the hurricane that just hit Florida. And then we were talking about some protesters. What is going on in your world? Anything exciting happening in your world? So it's great to be a protester, but you got to be smarter, than the guy next to you. Let me see. What else do we have good in the news today? I don't know what those are. I did see in the news the other day, I don't see it here, but I did see in the news that the number of new mortgages in the United States has dropped to a 30-year low. Thank you, Mr. President, for that. We appreciate that very much. Stifling the economy here. Oh, thank you. We appreciate that. Hello, Daisy5. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for being there. What is happening in y'all's guys' world? That's the question. Today's live stream is all about you. We will be doing some more podcasting, just so you know, about a lot of different topics. We're going to be having podcasts and coming out. Hopefully, you guys will tune into those. I am drinking, it's not Starbucks, but regular hot green tea from our local Asian market. All right. Wow. Apparently, there's a very large wildfire going on in northern Greece for 12 days now. Wow. That's big. The European Union's largest wildfire since the bloc started keeping records more than 2 decades, so that's not very long, says now in the 12th day, the blaze has begun near the port of, I will not be, Andriopolis on August the 19th. 475 firefighters on the ground, backed by 11 planes, 5 helicopters, were trying to train the concentrated deep in the forest of the Dadia National Park. Wow. Wildfires there. We've had wildfires in Hawaii, as you guys probably have heard. We actually have in the United States, I think there's currently 9 or 10 wildfires burning in the United States at any one time, because we have a lot of lightning strikes, and then we have a lot of crazy people who light fires. So I know the last one I heard was down in around the San Antonio, Texas area. So be mindful of what you're doing with matches and lighters. Looks like the United States rolls past Jordan at the Basketball World Cup. That's good. Daisy 5, where are you from? Oh, this is a good thing. See right here, 2 dead, 350 homes destroyed in a Washington wildfire. So 350 homes dead. The thing about the Hawaii fire is how many people have been dead and complete families have been wiped out. So that's kind of the scary part about that. So far in Washington, the state of Washington, we only have 2 dead. Let's see what this is about. Well, this is good news, I think. Muslim call to prayer can now be broadcasted publicly in New York City without a permit. So I guess in the past you had to have a permit to call for prayer. The Muslim call to prayer will ring out more freely in New York City under the guidelines announced Tuesday by Mayor Adams, which he said should foster the spirit of inclusivity. Under the new rule, Adams says mosques will not need a special permit to publicly broadcast the Islamic call to prayer on Fridays and at sundown during holy month of Ramadan. Friday is the traditional Islamic holy day, and Muslims break their fast at sunset during Ramadan. Huh. The police department Community Affairs Bureau will work with mosques to communicate the new guidelines to ensure the devices used to broadcast a prayer are set to the appropriate decibel levels. House of worship can broadcast up to 10 decibels over the ambient sound level. That's interesting. Because in New York, you may have a ambient sound of, oh my God, 70, 75. So that's an 85. And if you get up around in the mid 90s, you can, long term exposure to 90 or more decibels can cause hearing damage. So, but I think it's really interesting that my real question about this, for too long there has been a feeling that our communities were not allowed to amplify their calls to prayer. Adam says, today we're cutting the red tape, saying it's clearly that mosques and houses of worship are free, okay, to amplify their call to prayer on Fridays during Ramadan with it. Because that's what I was wondering right there, was Christian churches ringing their church bells already. And if that was okay, then why wouldn't it be okay for the mosque to do it? So, but here now, this is saying that the mayor is saying it's for everybody can do this. But I still wonder, if that was happening. So that's kind of interesting. Have I visited a Muslim country before? No, I have not ever been to one. I would be happy to go. Um, I have friends that are Muslim, so and I enjoy them because we like to have good conversations. But no, I have not. I would be happy to join. I think it'd be fascinating. I do find other religions quite fascinating. I'll tell you, going down this rabbit hole is I've actually enjoyed my time at Buddhist temples. I think Buddhist temples um, are some of the most beautiful, peaceful places on the planet. Come to Bangladesh as a traveler blogger. There you go. You know, we've been invited to um, Pakistan. We have some friends from there who are in the Philippines, and they have their permanent residency and stuff in Pakistan. And one thing I believe in doing, and I encourage this when I talk about traveling with other people and mixed cultures, mixed religions, when we have expats and stuff going to other countries and or wanting to marry another religion than their own, is I think the key to traveling like that is you have to study and understand what is appropriate and what is not. Because one of the things I would not want to do by my ignorance is to offend somebody's country and or their religion. So when we travel, we try really hard to leave a soft footprint. Maybe that's kind of a way to say it. We believe that we're guests there, so we should be very aware of our interactions and the our footprints that we leave behind. And that's always been very important to me, that no matter where I go, even in the United States, when I was teaching, if I would go and be a guest teacher somewhere, I would try to understand what that university was like, what the school was, what the training center was, who my audience was. And I could shape myself to behave accordingly so that we all get along so that we can go along. And I think that's just out of huge respect. And we've we've been, like I said, the only I've been to a lot of the different Christian denominations, of course, and some wacky ones here in the U.S. because we have some wacky religious beliefs here too, here in the U.S. But the Buddhist temples, by far, has been my favorite place to visit. Maybe if I was Catholic, some of these really cool old Catholic churches, which that I've been to, are really great to see. But yeah, I have no desire to go to Italy and hang out with the Vatican. Not that they would want me, but I have um, no desire to do that. So no. But I would go back to a Buddhist temple just to sit and reflect and enjoy. We went to the Taoist temple in Cebu, the Philippines, when we were there a couple of years back, and I did some videos on it respectfully because, man, it was just unbelievably beautiful. The scenery, the artwork, everything, and they were so very kind. It was good. It was good. So I'm good to see that New York is no longer making it difficult for anybody to go and pray. So that's good. Which I don't. I guess I'm still a little confused why it would have been a problem in the first place. So you're saying in Bangladesh, people love interacting with foreigners. Why do they like it? Why do they like it? Is it because they speak English? The foreigners speak English? It's because they find them entertaining because we do so many crazy things. Why? I wonder why. Tim, good morning, my friend. How are you? Thank you for being here. We are just talking about stuff in the news. How are you? Tell me what's going on in the Philippines. So, yeah, why do they like foreigners? Why do they like interacting? Do they like foreigners or do they just enjoy interacting with foreigners? You know, because I may not like somebody, but I find it entertaining, uh, to entertain myself by talking to them because, so that'd be interesting. Or is it like the Philippines? I love the Philippines, of course. Okay, so you're saying that you guys love to interact with others. That's good. And one of the questions a lot of expats talk about, and Tim is in the house and he's an expat, is, Filipinos are good people and they are happy people. But it does seem like if you're perceived to have money, then everybody likes to interact with you. Tim is saying that they're getting rain from a typhoon, gory and cold weather. Well, Tim, I don't know if you kept up with the weather in the United States, but right now, literally a few hours ago, we had a typhoon hit Florida, sorry, a hurricane hit Florida, and it looks like it's breaking up. I think it hit at a category 3. I'll share that with you, Tim, just so you can see it. Let's get you here. So there's the weather in Florida, in Georgia, in the Carolinas right now. It came right up here through the armpit, what I call the armpit of Florida. And it really does seem to be the armpit of Florida. But what they were talking about earlier, that it was going to be like a signal 3 or cat 3, all the way up and come this way to up by Savannah and come all the way across the state as a hurricane and come back out. But obviously it's not. You can tell that it's a lot of rain and storm surges, but it's busting up as it hits land. So that's going to be really good for Florida. Well, not good for Florida, but you know what I mean. It's going to be better. So than what they'd hoped for. Salam is saying we love to interact with others. I think that's great. I don't know much about Bangladesh, and I don't know much about anything. But I find generally everybody but Americans and Canadians, I'm going to call you out, you can nuts, seem to like interacting with people. People in North America, Canada, and the United States, we seem to be more grouchy and grumpy and and happy to mind our own business and not interact. We, you know, I tell people, and Tim can contest to this, that most Americans that go to the Philippines don't want to talk to other Americans. You know, so we I don't know. I don't know. We like to interact with people. Tim is saying they have another typhoon headed their way. Typhoon Hannah due anytime Friday and Saturday. Wow. Is it a big one, Tim? I mean, in the Philippines, it's like getting typhoons every other day almost, it seems, you know. But is it a big one? Sorry, there's something in my hat there. But we really don't. It's even like we go on cruises and we love cruises. And I highly recommend cruises to everybody. And if you want more information about cruises, go watch our cruise videos. But even when we go cruising, you'll have 3,000 to 5,000 guests on a boat, and most of the Americans won't talk to each other. So that's right. And that's my point. I wanted to see a lot of Americans who would have stayed in the States. That's kind of how we are. But Tim, do you like interacting with people other than the Americans? You know, Alam is talking about in Bangladesh, they like to interact with foreigners. So do you like to interact with other people than us crazy Americans? Because Americans don't like to hang out with other Americans if we don't have to. And the fun thing on a cruise ship is, and why I bring this up is because I'm actually working on our cruise for next year. So we're going to go on a big cruise next year. And we have some friends that are going to be first time cruisers that are going to go with us. So I was telling them it's really, and they're Filipino. So both the man and the woman both are from the Philippines. And I was telling them, you know, it's really interesting to me how many Filipinos we meet on the cruise ship that work on the cruise ship. And they're always so nice and so talkative and want to learn about things. But the Americans are all Tim says right now he doesn't interact with very many people but me here on the live stream because I am his favorite Philippine American couple person in the whole entire world. I know that, Tim. You don't have to tell me. I can tell. So, Tim, I will say this. Not interacting with a lot of people is not a bad thing. Because the more interactions you have with people, the more drama there is. There's more drama that people try to suck you into. And some of us, old guys like Tim and I, we don't really like drama that much. So Alam, if you're still there, so you think I would be welcome and fit in Bangladesh? Is there a particular touristy thing or blogger thing that I would want to try to do in Bangladesh? Because I don't know much about Bangladesh, but I would be willing to learn. So what would you recommend if I come to Bangladesh to do? We already know what to do in the Philippines, don't we, Tim? So here's some interesting things that we've learned recently because, like I said, we're going to go on a cruise next year, next September, not this September, next September. And our new friends who are here from the Philippines want to go. One is a dual citizen, so an American citizen, so he's good. The female happens to be here because she's just came over on a K-1 visa and got married, but she will be here on a green card. So one thing we found out was because we were originally we're going to take a cruise to like Spain, Greece, and Italy. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to go on a cruise there. But she would have to get a United States green card holder would have to get the special visa to visit Europe. Now, I didn't realize that. I would have thought if you have a U.S. green card holder, it would allow you in and out. But apparently, that doesn't work that way. So just a green card holder in the United States will not give you the same rights as a U.S. citizen by any shape to travel in and out of countries. You still have to apply for visas to get into those countries based on your citizenship, which makes total sense. I just didn't think of it. So she will not be able to go to Europe with us. So we're going to change our location and we're going to go on a cruise out of Miami and go to a bunch of different countries and then come back to Miami. Because if you guys don't know about cruises, that's what's called a closed loop. And technically, you never leave the country. So we're good there. Tim says, exactly, drama sucks. I don't feel like being an ATM for everybody else. I agree. Or a punching bag. Beth is in the house. Thank you. Thank you. We greatly appreciate you tuning in and sharing us out. And remember, if you guys haven't done that, please give us a thumbs up or share us out and help us out. We greatly appreciate it. Beth, your presence is always welcome and appreciated. And there is the StreamYard link if anybody would feel like coming up into the panel today. Wednesday mornings are our new times to do live streams. We will be doing some nighttime live streams and some travel live streams, but I thought I would try to do some on Wednesday mornings to get my day kicked off. And we got a busy week this week. Oh, my goodness, we're busy this week. I got a big doctor's appointment in the morning. And then Friday evening, afternoon, we got a wedding. Saturday, we got another wedding. And then here, it's Labor Day weekend. So we'll probably go do some road tripping, go do some shopping on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Maybe we'll eat some cookout on Monday, the holiday itself. So yesterday we were busy. Tuesday we were busy. Monday we were busy. Sunday we were busy. We just put out a little video about stinky fish, guys. If you haven't seen our video on Filipinas and their stinky fish, feel free to go watch that. We have some new friends that come over to join Lorelei and eat stinky fish. So, Tim, thank you for that. But yeah, the doctor's appointment is my 1-year heart checkup. So it shouldn't be a big deal. It's kind of like one of those things, Tim, where I have nothing new to report, which is a good thing, right? So it's a very good thing when you have your checkup and there's nothing new to report. I'm a big fan of that. So let's see, what else are we doing? So yeah, we're going to a wedding Friday. I don't know the people real well, but I'm going to go because I've been asked to go. And then we got I think it's at a Catholic church. And then we're doing a wedding reception afterwards. Hopefully there'll be food. So that'll be good. I like food. And then Saturday morning, that couple I was just explaining, he's a U.S. citizen. She's here on a K-1 visa. That's their wedding day. Is at the courthouse on Saturday morning. So we've helped them with that, and we're all excited, very much excited about that. And they got some friends coming, and it's going to be a very, very small group. And we're going to get them married, and get them married. Anybody else want to get married on Saturday? You can join us. That's right, Tim. Just a yearly checkup. Yeah, and I don't even get to see the doctor. I get to see the physical assistant, the physical, no, the physician's assistant, and and he's kind of a young kid. Well, yeah, Tim, to you and I, he's a kid. So, and he's a little arrogant, but he's all right. He's just, I don't know. He always tells me, he always tells me I'm fat. And I'm like, you think I don't know that? I mean, did you go to college all of these years to be able to figure that one out? So, but what can you say, right, Tim? I mean, I always want to, and I do tell him. I think I told him last time I saw him. I said, "You do realize I know that, right? And I've known that all my life." He's like, "Well, yeah, but we need to re-emphasize your health." And I'm like, "Yeah." I just think you have nothing better to say. So, yeah. Well, Tim is so old, he thinks everybody is a kid, or he sees everybody as a kid. Tim, I told people, and I tell people that, you're getting old when you go to the doctor and the doctor is younger than you. That's when I first realized I was getting old. I went to a doctor's office and the doctor was younger than me. Because, growing up, the doctor's always older than us, right? He's, I'm like, crap. And now my primary care doctor, my regular doctor who I get along with, is only 1 year older than me. So him and I are the same age. And I'm just like, oh, that's a little bit better. So wedding on Saturday morning. Um, if you guys you want to know how to get married, let me tell you how to get married in the United States. So if you don't want to have a fancy church wedding and all that garbage, you can simply, and because I've been through this the last 2 weeks helping our friends to get ready for marriage. Here's what you do. You got to, now, after COVID, you have to call the courthouse, make an appointment to go get a marriage license. You get your marriage license, right? You go get married, and we're going to use a friend of mine who's a justice of the peace, who I used to teach with. You get married, he signs the paperwork, you submit the paperwork back to the courthouse. I guess you got to make an appointment to do that. So you go back, submit the paperwork, okay? They, in turn, within 10 days, send you a marriage certificate. Then you are legally married. And it costs $60 fee for the marriage license here where we are, $60 to the courthouse. That's how you get married. The marriage ceremony will probably take us 30 minutes. We are going to take video and pictures for them, not for all of you guys, but just for their private vault. So, and then we're going to go eat at some fancy restaurant that he's picked, and hopefully he's flipping the bill because it sounds like it's really expensive. Tim says, I saw a doctor that was a son of mine. Oh my God, really? Well, you know why? Wow. Tim, I saw a doctor which was the grandson of my grandmother's hip surgeon. And that kind of freaked me out because his name was Croker, and I'm like, I made the appointment with Dr. Croker, and I'm like, what? That guy would have to be 200 years old. And it turned out to be his grandson who followed in his footsteps. So, hello, Ping. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for the hand wavy and the thumbs uppy and the sharing outing and all of that good stuff. We appreciate you. How are things in your world? We're asking, share with us what's going on in your world today. Tim sounds like when I got married in Korea. Thank you for the kindness. And we appreciate you being here more than you know. We would love to know how things are for you. Do you have any questions about America or the Philippines from Tim or I or any of the other wonderful people? And if you haven't become friends with any of the people in the chat, please feel free to do that. They're all very good people. I promise. You have my guarantee. And I dropped the link there to the StreamYard if you're brave enough to come up and join me in conversation. But yes, Tim, I thought that was weird. And I'm like, man, I can't believe Dr. Kroger is still practicing medicine. Hopefully he's not going to be my surgeon because, my God, his age has to be tremendous. And I get in there and it's some young kid about 30, 35 years old, I'm like, oh, and I asked him. He's like, oh, that's my granddad who started this practice. I'm like, whatever. So that's, in a nutshell, how you get married in the United States. They're called civil ceremonies. It's easy to do. Yes, you can get a divorce in the United States once you're married. In the Philippines, divorce is a no-no. I don't know about how many other countries where divorce is not allowed. I would assume, but I don't know. I don't assume anything. Because remember, when you assume something, it makes an ass out of you and me. So I better not assume anything. I don't know how many other countries where divorce is extremely difficult, or I know you get an annulment in the Philippines, but I don't know. Anybody know any other countries where you can get a divorce? Tim is saying that when he got married, had to go to Seoul City Hall. Just as the piece was sick, so I got married by the holy crap, that's cool. How much, Tim, let me ask you this, because this came up this week. How much did you have to, or did you pay the mayor for marrying you? So, because we got on this topic this week, I told my friend who's getting married, how we do this in the United States is, because since they didn't know anybody, I found them a justice of the peace, a guy that does civil ceremonies that I know very well. And I told my friend, I said, well, when Lorelai and I got married, we gave him $100. So maybe you give him $100. And of course, Lorelai reminded me that we got married 10 years ago. So maybe with inflation, $100 isn't enough. So I told my friend that maybe I ought to give him $200 or $250, especially seeing that he's doing this on short notice as a favor, because she just literally arrived here on the K1 a week ago, and they want to get married in a hurry. So there's nothing planned, and he was having difficulties finding somebody to do the ceremony, so I was able to take care of it. So, but what I did was I told him, I said, the rule, unwritten rule of getting married is I'm trying to remember, what is the person called? The groom. The dude who's getting married can pay, can give the money to the JP, the Justice of the Peace, but he shouldn't hand him the money. So I told him, I said, get your money, stick it in an envelope, give it to me. I will personally hand it to him. That way it's not you, because the way I grew up, it was bad luck if the person getting married gave the money directly to the pastor, the preacher, the JP, or whatever it was. Why? I don't know. It was white to pay them directly. But that's what I was always told from a little kid. So when I get involved in it, I am always happy to transfer the money over to help. Tim says that when he got married in Korea, I think the license and all the fees were less than $50. That was 1995. Wow. Yeah, the license here in the state of Arkansas is only $60 or $62.50 if you pay by credit card. So it's not bad. I don't remember what Lorelai's and I's fee was. I actually want to, I don't know, but I think our fee was like $10 or something here in Arkansas. And that's what I was thinking the other day when he told me this, man, the licensing fees have really jacked up. So I found that interesting. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't remember how much it was. And like I said, we paid the guy that married us. Well, we got married twice, so it cost us double. twice in the same day because my friend and my mentor who came all the way up from far, far away to marry us at sunrise, everything was so chaotic, he forgot to sign the license. So, and had to leave. And so he was gone. And by the time we got home and all thing, I realized, oh my God, we never got it signed. We never got our marriage license signed to turn into the courthouse. So I called my friend who's going to be doing the wedding on Saturday and said, hey, can you meet us at the campus, the college where we taught, and do another ceremony and sign the document? So we actually got married twice in the same day. And I gave him money too, of course. Eddie Finn is in the house. How are you? We appreciate you, man. If you guys don't know Eddie Finn, please go on and check out his channel. He's got a great channel about fishing and his family and the kids. And it's actually a lot of joy to watch the little ones fish and catch those things, and they have a great time. So check his channel out if you guys will. And Ethan, how are things? Because I think you told me one time you're married because you wanted to be a trophy wife. And we're talking a little bit about weddings and the hurricane and anything else on your mind. You're welcome to chime in and we'll talk about that. So, well, we have some weddings to attend to this weekend. We have a Friday evening wedding and then a Saturday morning wedding to be a part of. So the Friday one, I think we're just going to go and we just sit and watch. But the Saturday one, we're actually actively involved. So when I was single, one thing I did was I refused to go to weddings. I wouldn't go to weddings when I was single because I didn't want it to rub off on me. I didn't want to get any marriage mojo on me and then some girl latch to me and I have to get married. But now that I'm married and I'm old, my wife tells me that we're going, so we go, whether I like it or not. But maybe the Friday evening one, they're having a big reception, I think. So we're hoping for an open bar and free food. I don't know. The last wedding we went to, we actually went to a Thai Buddhist wedding a couple of hours away. And I got huge videos, but I just haven't done anything with them. The Thai Buddhist wedding that we went to was awesome. One of the best weddings I've ever attended. Beautiful costumes or wardrobe, because it's probably not costumes. Beautiful wardrobe, open bar. The food was massive, and it just kept coming after coming. All kinds of Thai food and some delicacies that I'd never seen. And I'm going to make a video of some of the delicacies that we saw at this Thai wedding. I think that's really good. It'd be a short video. But some things that I've never seen the shape of or heard of, and they were really good to eat. So we had now this Thai wedding started like at 5 p.m. and we left at 11 p.m. to come home 2 hours away, and it was still going strong. They partied and drank until the wee hours of the morning. I was wore out, and they dance and they move around a lot. They also did a traditional Filipino money dance because the bride was Filipino, the groom was from Thailand, and he was a Buddhist. Bama Nolan Long's Adventures in the house. Hey, we appreciate you. And Bama, how are things in your world? You're welcome to reach out to make friends with everybody here. We appreciate you for being here and taking time out of your morning. How are things going for you? They're probably wet, right? So the Thai Buddhist wedding was really, really cool. A lot of fun. The one we're going to Friday, I think, is a Filipino Catholic wedding. So they'll probably do a whole lot of the up and downs, up and downs, up and downs. David's not doing that. One, I'm old and my knees are bad. So we'll just sit back and watch their wedding. Catholic weddings are kind of boring. So I enjoy weddings when they're exciting. The one Saturday morning will be very exciting for us because our friends are very dear and close to us. And we're very excited that his fiance is here on the K1. And we get to be a part of that again because my wife came over on the K1. So we're very excited about all of that. So weddings, weddings, wedding. Anybody got a wedding in your future? Would anybody like to meet a Filipina to get married to? Just let us know. We can help you out. So that's part of what we're doing this week. But you know, we said earlier, the hurricane hit Florida. It looks like it's dissipating throughout Georgia. So hopefully it'll be calming down and settling things down there. A lot of good, exciting things in the news. My goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I am excited. We are, if you didn't see my last video about stinky fish, I'm excited because my friend, his fiance who came over on the K1 from the Philippines, brought me some goodies from the Philippines that I actually really like and enjoy. So I got kind of like a little gift bag of goodies. So I'm very, very happy with that. Bama says, it's hot here in New Orleans. We finally got some rain on Monday. Other than that, it's been very hot and dry for 3 months. You know, which really, really, Bama, that's really interesting for the Crescent City to be so dry for so long. I have a brother who lives out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and they are hot and dry and miserable. He says everything is just brutally brown. Where we're at, which is only 5 hours from Dallas, we've been getting rain every other week, keeping things nice and green. So we've actually done pretty well, even with the 105 degrees hot temperatures. We've done okay rain-wise. So, but other than that, how are things in New Orleans? Are you a Saints fan? My wife hasn't been to New Orleans, but it is one of the cities we plan on cruising out of one day so that she can see the Big Easy, to see New Orleans. So I'm excited to show her that. We are supposed to go down to Alabama here soon. If all works out, I think sometime in November, we're going to run down and hang out in Alabama again. We were in Mississippi a few months ago down in Bay St. Louis area, did some fishing down there. So that was always fun. But we're excited about the wedding, not the weddings, because I don't know the people in the first one, second one, we know. But they're going to be getting married. They'll get their license turned in. Then once your license is turned in, you get your certificate. She can go down and get a Social Security card, apply for her green card. As soon as your green card comes in, she will start work as a nurse. So that's exciting for us in our little world of things. And if you don't know, if you know anybody in the Philippines that wants to immigrate or from another country, doesn't mean the Philippines, the easiest way to immigrate to the United States is to become a nurse and pass the U.S. boards, get and come over as a nurse, because when you land, you're a permanent resident, because we are in such a big nursing shortage in the United States. Just to keep in mind. Tim says, now Tim's in the Philippines, for you guys who don't know anything in Bama. It has rained since late July, didn't rain 4 days until now. Yeah, you get a lot of rain in the Philippines. So is it technically the rainy season there, Tim, in the Philippines? Or is it summer? I always get that mixed up. Even when we were there, I didn't know what season I was in because the temperature was the same. So I couldn't tell if it was Christmas or 4th of July. Mm. And then our good friend is going to be taking us to lunch at some very fancy on top of a building restaurant come Saturday. So we may have some Facebook pictures. And if you guys haven't become members of our or join our Facebook group, Philippine American Couple, I encourage you guys to to do that. Also, go out and network and with all the other YouTube channels on here. Okay, your rainy season in the Philippines is June through October. So I do believe for us, hurricane season is about winding down. And I think that's why they were so surprised that this hurricane that just hit Florida was so strong at the end of the season, is what they were saying on the news. And what they were saying was that it was going to be a Cat 3 hit, stay that way, go all the way up through Georgia to South Carolina as a Category 3 intact hurricane, and that hasn't happened. So that's really good news. Man, that's right. Yeah, it is good. It's we do. If you guys don't know, we do a lot of videos about immigration. We do a lot of videos about travel and food, fishing, woohoo, eating food, cruise ships. We do all of that because we've done a lot of stuff in our life, and we do that. And we just do simple, fun videos, product reviews, and of course, a lot of live streams. But one thing we believe in is sharing knowledge at no cost. So if there's ever a question that anybody has that I can answer with certainty, I will be happy to share it. If there's things we know, that's what we like to do. We don't believe in big secrets. So there's a huge nursing shortage. There's a huge teaching shortage. And you can come over here on a teaching visa also, but you're not a permanent resident. It's actually an H1 visa or J1, H1, J1 visa. And you can bring your family over on a J2 visa, which is for family, but you are only here for 3 years, the term of your contract. But nurses literally can become permanent residents when they hit the ground, because that's part of the agreement, because there's such of a nursing shortage. And we know a lot that have done that. We know, and here's something else I will tell you, and this is just really good information, and Tim knows this from being in the Philippines, that we have friends that are adults here that have children. They will send their children to the Philippines to become a nurse there, pass the American exams, right? No problem. Their children are U.S. citizens and or dual citizens. And why they do this is because, one, they do have very good nursing schools in the Philippines. But two, you can pay for a 4-year nursing degree in the Philippines and travel and lodging and everything that goes with this for 1 year of nursing school at the University of Arkansas. 1 year versus 4. A lot cheaper in other countries. And that is why a lot of people go to foreign countries to go to medical school. When we were there the last time, we ran into somebody who actually was from, I can't remember which country, a South African country. And he was trying to he was studying to be a doctor there in the Philippines so that he could go back to his country because they're so much cheaper in the Philippines. So just, a little bit of knowledge there. And one thing a lot of U.S. citizens who are born and raised like me here, big fat old white people, what we don't know or don't understand is you can send your U.S. citizen child to other countries to get a nursing degree and pay a little bit more than the Philippine citizen would, but not much. And so it would still be cheaper to send your child who wants to be a nurse to the Philippines for 4 years, let them have a great experience traveling the world, or go to other countries than it is for higher education in the United States. And I say this with certainty because I was in higher ed for over 25 years. So I have a huge thing about higher education, a lot of information there. See, Tim is saying, Norway and Sweden, college is free for tourists. See, that would be great. The only problem is English is not their primary language. And so you have to be able to speak Norwegian, I guess, and Sweden, right, Tim, is what I would think. And then the other question is for this is for nursing. They probably don't have the U.S. exams, or they don't prep for the U.S. boards. But yeah, free college is free college. That's my point. Education in America is so inflated and blown that it's ridiculous. As somebody who taught college and worked in education for over 25 years, I don't recommend people go to college. Don't do it. I think it's a waste of your time and money. I highly recommend the skilled trades. I tell young people that if you want to make good money, go be an electrician, go be a plumber, join the military, and let them pay for your education. You know, plumbers, electricians, computer experts, cybersecurity. You know, you don't need multiple college degrees anymore. You need skill-based knowledge, and you can make very, very, very good money without being in debt $200,000 or $300,000 to some university, you know, that is just bonkers. So that's my, man, I could go on and on about how corrupt higher education is, how it's not a good investment. Let's say that. If you got the money and you just want it because you want it, heck, why not? Norway and Sweden. If I spoke their language, Tim, I would go be a tourist. Tim says that he wouldn't go to college. I think, Tim, if I remember right, you're military, ex-military, right? I actually, and this is an interesting thing going on here in the United States right now. You know, I know for you folks, if you haven't been keeping up, if you're out of the country, we have a new player on the political landscape called Vivek Ramaswamy. Very brilliant young man. He's only 38, so he barely can run for president, but he's running for president. And he has some interesting concepts, right or wrong. I'm not saying that, not telling you know, this guy's the greatest thing in the world or to vote for him. But he does have some interesting concepts about raising the voter age until the age of 25. He also, I think, is one of the people, and there's a little bit of a push for this, Tim, and Bama and anything, that, you know, a lot of countries make the young people serve the military, you know, a national service. And there's a tiny bit of push in the United States right now that maybe our young people need to be some kind of national service. So Tim went to the college on the post 911 GI Bill. Good. And the GI stands for General Enlisted, right, Tim? So if you went to college on the GI Bill, why would you choose? Why wouldn't you go now? Why would you not do it again? I guess is my question, Tim. I wouldn't recommend it because I don't think it's necessary. Just, you know, you can go online to Coursera.com and for like $36 a month, take all kinds of classes and get all kinds of skill-based knowledge that you need to improve yourself, to get certificates so that you can go out there and get better paying jobs. You don't need, and this is one of the frustrating things, if you're in higher ed, what's going on is, you know, our universities and community colleges, they still want to spend millions of dollars building buildings, but those buildings are no longer necessary due to the internet and due to the paradigm shift in education during COVID. During COVID, we learned how to teach at home and online better. We made better platforms such as Blackboard and others that made it easier for teachers to get on board of teaching from home. So there's a lot of places you don't need brick and mortar anymore. If I wasn't spending my money, it'd be worth it. And I think money is a key factor. I don't know, and I'll tell you, Tim, we as faculty of the college, one of our unwritten duties was that we need to encourage people to come to the college, take out student loans, go into debt for education. And why were we encouraged? Because we were told all the time, the more students that come in here, the more pay we can give you. Maybe you guys will get a raise. We can give you more stuff for your offices, for your classrooms. So without saying, hey, you need to go out and recruit students. Well, actually, they did say we need to go recruit students. The motivation was, if you want things as a faculty, you better go get more students without question. Otherwise, you may lose your students, therefore lose money. The problem with higher education in America is you have faculty and you have the administration side. The administration side in higher education is way bloated. You have more people trying to bring money in and getting people to take out student loans and federal grants and everything else that's available than you do people teaching. That was one of our chief complaints in higher ed, is how bloated the administration is. How many levels of managers and people can you have to do one simple job? It's just crazy. But being in higher education as a staff member is one of the best and easy jobs you can have. Pays well, gives you great benefits. You don't work weekends, you don't work holidays. You get a lot of great benefits for being a state employee. It's the greatest job, one of the greatest jobs there is. So that's kind of, oh my God. So you're making me go down a rabbit hole about higher ed. And man, can I go down a rabbit hole about higher ed. It's a dangerous, slippery note. Slippery note. So. We have somebody, and I'm going to maybe do a video about this later, Tim. Hi, that we have somebody who we know that's a teacher here in the United States now from the Philippines. And we got to know some others. They're here to teach in public schools. What I can say is their experience is not what they've been led to believe would be. So they've been recruited to come here to be a teacher. They went through the agencies, paid all of this money. They get here and they're like, holy shit, what did I get myself into? One, everything is so expensive, difficult in the United States compared to the Philippines. And the one thing I've discussed with people is my belief is if you're a teacher in the Philippines, stay in the Philippines. If you're a teacher in your own home country, stay there. Make a good life for you there versus trying to come to the United States to be one, because the status of a teacher in the Philippines is here. The status of teachers in America is down here. So American teachers are regarded as low pay, low on the food chain. The children don't respect them. The students, the older ones, don't respect them. But in the Philippines, the way it's set up and the way the children have respect for their elders, which we no longer have in America, happens in the Philippines. So you may not technically make as much money, but I think being a teacher in the Philippines is easier and allows you to be the teacher versus a paid babysitter a lot of the times in American schools. And this has to be true because US teachers are quitting by the thousands public school teaching. They're going, it doesn't pay enough. It's too long of hours. The children are horrible. You know, the children can't behave. There's no community support. There's no financial backing for school supplies. At least in the Philippines, you have community support. The parents want their children to do well. Here, it's more like a dumping ground for the children, is what it seems to be. So I told her before she got here, her best thing was not to come here. But she's here. She's making the adjustments, but it is definitely not easy, especially seeing that they've had to go to the food bank to get food on a regular basis. You know, their dollar doesn't go very far here. They didn't bring very much money. Their rent is extremely high, shockingly high for them. And it is a little high. It is a little high, you know. Their utilities are outlandish, and they put them all in one big place. They put all these teachers who come over in one building, put them two to a room. So maybe you have 6 girls in one apartment, 3-bedroom apartment. You have 6 girls, right? And maybe the building has this old, what do they call them? Brimstone house, brickstone. Those older houses in the big cities. So maybe there's 3 levels. It's all full of Filipino teachers doing the same thing. And you got to go through the agency. The agency finds the apartment. So the real question is, how much is that apartment really rent for? Or is the agency making money on top of it? On top of the money, they got to pay the agency for bringing them over every month for the first year or more. So I feel bad for these women because I think they have good intentions, but they may find out that that paycheck they get is a whole lot smaller than they were promised. Then, of course, Tim, as you know, you got to make sure you understand what FICA is. Mr. FICA will take a very big chunk of your money. Oh, let's see. There's some news about Tesla. Here's something interesting. Tesla is allowing no hands driving with autopilot for longer periods. U.S. regulators have questions. Tesla is letting some drivers use its autopilot drive assist system for extended periods without making them put their hands on the steering wheel, a development that has drawn concerns from U.S. safety regulators. The National Transportation and Safety Administration has ordered Tesla to tell the agency how many vehicles have received a software update making it possible, and it's seeking more information on what the alleged vehicle maker plans are for widespread distribution. Yeah, Tim, I think the agencies are making a lot of money because the agencies will front. Now, look, I get that the agencies have expenses because do they help them get their visas? Do they help them? You apply and you got to pay some money, and then the Filipino has to pay money to apply for these positions. But once you kind of make it through 1 or 2, 3 steps, the agencies to go, okay, you're a viable candidate that we think we can get you from the Philippines to America. So we think we can do that. Then what they do is tell you how great it is, how much money you're going to make. And then they tell you, oh, by the way, for our fees, it's going to be all of this. And if you don't have the money to buy your own ticket, which how many Filipinos do we know that could buy a $3,000 airline ticket or a $2,500 airline ticket or $2,000? How many people can afford to do that? So we will front you the airline ticket. We will front you your first month's rent. We will front you all of this other money to pay all of these other expenses. All you got to do is agree to pay us back with interest. And if they're not charging interest, what they're doing is charging an administration fee. They're saying, okay, well, we can't maybe legally charge you interest. The way the United States government works, you can only charge interest on loans. So they either got to make it a legal loan where you pay interest, or they charge a administration fee on top of it that compounds based on the dollar amount, and you get stuck paying them, and you have to come over for a 3-year contract. They say that if you work really hard and do well, you can get the company paid off in the first year. That's what the company tells you. I'm going to be following this very closely and find out how true all of this is. I know right now they are extremely shocked by how poor they are as teachers in America. These are people that were very good teachers in the Philippines, who had very good teaching jobs in the Philippines. The thought that they're having to go dumpster diving and to go to food banks just to get food to eat because they don't have any money has been an eye-awakening event for them. The fact that where they live is so far from the schools that they've been assigned to teach in, because it is not safe for them to live close to the schools that they teach in. So they may be an hour away from the school they teach in. And of course, they don't drive, they don't have cars. So what do they have to do? They have to take public transit, which turns out to take a 1-hour car ride and turn it into a 2-hour bus ride. So that eats up a lot of their day and free time if they have it. So that's part of what's going on. And I want to keep up with this. And I've been writing down things and making notes about things I'm learning from these people. Because Tim, I'll tell you, they're too scared to go on camera and to say what reality is. But I'll do it for them, via them. I'll channel it, and we'll talk about how this really works out for the first year. We'll see. We'll see how things really goes. But yeah, it's a different environment. And then of course the scariness of just being in a new country. It's one thing if you're traveling to a new country and you have your husband and kids or friends and family, but you're going to a big city, because this is only in big cities. Where we live is a very good part of the country. So there is no teacher shortage here. People want to teach here. So we never have job openings for teachers where we're at in this part of the country. But Chicago, New York, Dallas, Los Angeles, cities that the inner cities is where you can't find teachers for the United States. And so they bring these people from another country that are very good teachers and throw them into this environment that's completely different. And I know they do a lot of work with them to try to get them ready for this, to get them to understand what they're going to be involved in, what type of students are they going to be teaching, things to say and not to say, how to behave and how not to behave, so that they don't cause embarrassment or make mistakes that may get them in trouble. But you got to know, Tim, it's a extremely difficult task and environment, just like it would be, because back years ago, I looked in when I first met my wife about teaching college in the Philippines. I did. I studied up on it and thought, well, if she didn't get her K-1 visa, then I would just move to the Philippines. And since I taught college here, I would try to teach there. You know, and of course, we ran into that concept in the Philippines that unless you can do a job that that a Filipino can't do, that's the only way you get a work visa in the Philippines. All right, Tim, take care, get some rest, be safe out there, and we appreciate you being here. And enjoy the weather, buddy. Enjoy the weather. So I quickly learned that, yeah, I could go get a job over there because I had some unique skill set that would allow me to be a college professor in the Philippines. But it was way different style of teaching than what I was used to. And guys, we are going to end this in about 5 minutes. We're going to end here in about 5 minutes because I got to get some errands done, and we got weddings to prepare for this week. So we got a lot going on. But teaching in a different country, no matter where you're from, is unique. And I ran into this teaching in the United States. Hey, James, how are you? Good to see you. I ran into this in the United States when we at the college would have people from other countries come here to teach. They had a steep learning curve about how teaching in America was, how it really was, that it wasn't as easy and cut and dry and structured as they thought it was going to be. So somebody who's like me, who taught college in maybe a more happier format, kind of more loosey-goosiness, I found when studying this for myself, if I taught college in the Philippines, it was more rigid, more serious. When they come here and they realize teaching college here is a little bit more free-flowing, you have to do more of it on your own. It's more interactive. It's not just me lecturing and the students doing exactly what I want. Here you get pushback. So it is interesting. It is interesting. James, how are things out in California? It's good to see you. We appreciate you. We're going to be vacating here, leaving here in a couple of minutes. So give everybody a heads up on that. We got a couple of weddings we got to do this weekend, James. We got one Friday to do and one Saturday morning. So I got a lot to do to get prepared for those this week. And oh my gosh, you got doctor's appointments, and we've been busy all week. So wanted to this is our new time to do Wednesday mornings, James. We're going to try to do every Wednesday morning. Lorelai and I will do some night live streams also. And then we're going to be doing some travel live streams. And James, did you catch the last video about stinky fish? You might enjoy our video on stinky fish. I'm drinking green tea this morning. So that's kind of what's going on with us this week. And if you guys haven't connected with each other, please do. If you will, leave us a thumbs up and all of that good stuff to our videos, our channel, and all of that. We appreciate that. So guys, once again, thank everybody for being here. And we will see you next Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. Take care and see you around.